16,518 crore rupees. That's the total funding that came to political parties in India through electoral bonds in the last 6 years alone. The Supreme Court on February 15 struck down the electoral bonds and called it unconstitutional. And this could be a game changer for political funding in India. In this episode, let's take a look at how political parties get their fundings in India, which is mostly through electoral bonds, direct donations, and electoral trusts. Most importantly, we look at how the law was tweaked by the Modi government to ensure more and more corporate funding, and most of it is done anonymously. Let Me Explain is a weekly show in which I explain issues, controversies, and much more. Do tune in every Friday to watch the show. Also, this is the Valentine's week, so show us some love. Like and share this video and also become a TNM subscriber. You can attend our edit meetings, interact with us, and you can also tell me what issues you want me to take up in my next episode. The Election Commission of India proudly on its website says that at the heart of the system is a commitment to hold regular, free and fair elections. Fair enough, it's a great statement. But free and fair? How are elections free and fair when one party gets a lion's share of the funding and a large part of it remains anonymous? Before electoral bonds were introduced, that is before 2017, political parties received funding mostly in two ways. One, through direct donations. These can be made either through bank transfers or through checks, which means that they're traceable. Let me show you the figures from 2018-2023. This is only through direct donation, and BJP alone has gotten over 3,300 crores. It's very evident from the numbers which party gets the most donations. Barring the COVID years, BJP's numbers have steadily increased. The second source of donation was through electoral trusts. Now, what are these trusts? Electoral trusts have been around since the 1990s. The first such trust was set up by the Tata Group in 1996 to facilitate donations to political parties. Any Indian citizen, a company registered in India, or a firm, or even the Hindu undivided family can donate to an electoral trust. These trusts primarily worked on a formula where the trust would give money according to vote shares and the number of seats won. The electoral trust scheme was formalized by the Congress-led UPA in 2013. But since then, the BJP has benefited the most from these trusts. In the past 10 years, the BJP has received over 1,893 crores from these trusts. In comparison, the Congress has made just 221 crores. It's in the same period. So in other words, the Congress's share from these trusts is just 11% of BJP's total. Most of this money has come through one trust called the Prudent Electoral Trust. We have a big story coming up on this on the News Minute very soon. Make sure you read that story and get all the inside details. Compared to electoral bonds, electoral trusts are relatively transparent. I'll tell you why. Firstly, electoral trusts have to submit detailed reports on contributions from individuals and companies and their donations to parties every year to the Election Commission. Second, if a trust has only one contributor and one beneficiary, people can know who's funding who. Let me give you an example. The Janhit Electoral Trust in 2018 and 2019 consisted of just one contribution of rupees 2.5 crores from Vedanta. Vedanta now is a mining company based in Mumbai. And all of this 2.5 crores were donated to the BJP. So it's very clear. But this is not always the case. If a trust has multiple contributors and multiple recipients, it becomes less transparent because then it cannot be specified which company is funding which party. Let me explain this through another example. Prudent Electoral Trust, the richest electoral trust in India today, is one of BJP's biggest funders since it was incorporated in 2013. That's just before the 2014 general elections. In the past, Prudent has received donations from major corporations such as real estate company DLF, automobile company Hero Moto Corp, JSW Steel and Aditya Birla Group among others. A lion's share of these funds have gone to the BJP in the recent years, but the trust has also donated to many national and regional parties. The donation process is less transparent in such a scenario, since it's difficult to say for sure which company donated to which party. For example, in 2023, Prudent gave BJP rupees 256 crore. Congress got no money. But this was the year Telangana went into polls and most donors to Prudent were Hyderabad-based companies. Perhaps it's no surprise then that the KCR-led BRS got 90 crores that year. Now we go to electoral bonds. This graphic tells you what parties made from March 2018, that's when the first phase started, to March 2023. We don't have the party-wise data after that. The BJP got 54% of the funds. Some regional parties also collected crores through these bonds. When the Supreme Court was hearing the case against electoral bonds, the Modi government had argued that citizens do not have the right to know the funding of a political party. To use Amit Shah's famous phrase, "Aap chronology samajh lijiye," then you'll understand everything else. In 2017, then Finance Minister Arun Jaitley introduced the Electoral Bond scheme and said that this is how political funding will be made transparent. Then the same year, the government removed the cap on corporate donation for political parties. Until then, companies could not donate more than 7.5% of their total profit to political parties. So the BJP ensured that more and more corporates could put in more and more money, and we have no idea who's put how much. The Electoral Bond scheme ensures anonymity to all its donors. What it did is essentially free parties from any obligation to reveal the source and the amount of money of such donations. Donors can just buy these bonds from a State Bank of India branch and donate the funds to a party of their choice. Again, all of this is done anonymously. So what this does is make a complete mockery of the idea of free and fair elections, despite what Arun Jaitley claimed while introducing it. And the most important thing to note here is a disproportionately large share of these funds through electoral bonds have been going to the BJP. Between 2018 and 2023, BJP received over 6,500 crores from electoral bonds alone. Regional parties like the TMC, DMK, YSRCP, BRS and even BJD have received most of their donations through these electoral bonds. And the donations spiked ahead of key elections, like Uttar Pradesh and Punjab elections that were held in Feb 2022, or more recently in October and November of 2023, just before the crucial 5-state polls. What this means is that as elections get more and more expensive, the party with the fattest wallet has an advantage. There's one more amendment the BJP brought in 2017. Section 236 of the Finance Act ensured that foreign companies too could fund Indian political parties. Before this, foreign companies couldn't directly donate to political parties as per the FCRA and the Foreign Exchange Management Act. But after this amendment, foreign companies with majority shares in Indian companies could do so through electoral bonds.
लगभग 30 करोड़, टू बी प्रिसाइज 28.46 करोड़ रुपया, ये जो न्यूज क्लिक है इसने भिन्न भिन्न एजेंसियों से विदेशों से रिसीव किया.
But the BJP leaders appear on news channels night after night questioning foreign funding of anyone who dissents. Hypocrisy much? Now let's look at what can be done to have at least a semblance of transparency in political funding and by extension in Indian elections. Any donations made by anyone, including foreign citizens and companies, must be made public. Some would say even ban foreign funding. This way, we can rule out foreign interference in elections. Do write and tell me what you think of this suggestion. Then we can look at capping donations per individual or organization. This could mean that any one group or person cannot have too much control over politicians by making large donations. Some places like the US have specific limits on how much each type of donor can give. Others like the UK focus on limiting how much parties can spend instead. No matter what the approach, the goal is the same: keep elections free and fair, and prevent money from drowning out everything else in elections. Disclosures of the donations made to the public could also rule out any kind of quid pro quo between the donors and the political parties. But electoral reforms like these require political will and consensus. And for obvious reasons, this is what is most lacking. Now, with the Supreme Court cracking down on electoral bonds, will the Modi government make the donors public? Or will they pull a rabbit out of the hat? With the Lok Sabha elections coming up, we will be focusing on money in Indian elections more and more. So you can look forward to our work in that direction. But we've already put together some of this, and if you want to read and view some of those videos, the links are in the description below. That's it from me for this week, but I'll come back with another episode next Friday. Meanwhile, you can tell me what you thought of this episode. Do drop your comment in the comment section and also tell me what you want me to take up in my next episode. Thank you for watching.